Hi, we're at the Creation Museum at the Eden Animal Experience. I'm here with Leanne. You take care of all the animals here and all that, right?
Yes, yes.
So we were in summer. We were at 80 degrees, and I was wondering, where's full? Where's full? And we skipped right over full and went straight to 40 degrees. But today it actually feels like 60 degrees. So I think we're back into full now. So I'm ready for some fun, full enrichment activities.
Yes, so here at Eden, the Eden Animal Experience, we like to provide our animals with enrichment. Most of our animals get enrichment every day of the week. They all are on a variety of different schedules for their enrichment. And during the seasons, we try to incorporate seasonal things into their enrichment as well. So today we're gonna look at a couple things that we use with our animals to encourage our guests to think about fall when they're here. So today we're going to start with our Zorse and Zonky, Zoe and Cletus. So Tim, one of our head keepers here, is going to let them out. So today they have two different forms of enrichment. They are both food-based enrichment. So here we have a pile of banana leaves. You might not think that is very fall-like, but here at the Creation Museum we have some beautiful banana trees that grow out in the gardens. And in the fall they are cut off when it frosts, and so we get to reap some of the benefits of that. So this is kind of our fall leaf pile here, because a lot of our trees that have nice pretty leaves, they haven't really changed yet because we just had 80-degree temperatures not that long ago, so the leaves are still changing colors. So this is our leaf pile here. This is a Creation Museum leaf pile. And then over here on this side, Cletus is going over, we have a pumpkin mobile going on. So we've got some little pie pumpkins just suspended off of a milk crate. And the idea with this is he's going to kind of work at that, manipulate that. He'll probably try to bite the pumpkins when they're hanging there. I'm guessing they're going to have to probably fall down for him before he can eat them. So Zoe and Cletus both really enjoy pumpkins. We gave them some fun pumpkin enrichment our fall fun day last week, and they really enjoyed it. Zoe went to town. She was all about those pumpkins. So as I said, this is food-based enrichment. We do a lot of that here with our animals. It's one of the most popular forms of enrichment. We have a lot of hoof stock here at the Creation Museum. So these are animals that have a hoof. So they are usually about eating. So we will use this food enrichment, kind of make them work a little bit for their foods, and also introduce them to a variety of different foods. So one of their favorites is the banana leaves. So Zoe is over here just kind of munching away on the banana leaves here. And
Banana leaves taste like banana.
They kind of smell a little bit like bananas. I haven't tried one. I don't know if I'm quite that brave.
Banana leaf salad.
Right? Maybe we can start selling this in the cafe. But banana leaves are very safe for a lot of animals, so they're one of the great forms of browse that we use here. So browse is basically just any sort of plant material that we give the animals to interact with and eat. So of course, in the wild, zebras are going to pretty much eat anything that they can get a hold of. So leaves are very popular with them, in addition to grass as well. Okay, Cletus may have given up on the mobile. That might have been a little bit too much work. He says, oh, there's free food. There's easier food over here to get into. So hopefully they work on that mobile, because that took me quite a while to build. So here we like to recycle a lot and use things that, if an animal breaks it during enrichment and we have to get rid of it, it's not a big loss. We try to be very cost efficient when it comes to our enrichment items. So things like, being able to collect plant materials from the gardens. Our grounds department is always great about bringing us edible plants in the gardens that the animals can eat, things like that. And then these pumpkins are actually, a lot of the pumpkins you're going to see today are actually left over from our fall fun day the other week. So we're able to recycle some of those as well.
If you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments. I am monitoring the comments right now, so feel free to post any questions you may have.
Okay, well, we'll move over to our petting yard here. So we don't want to leave our petting yard goats out today. So they are going to get just some pumpkins, and I'm also going to put a couple of apples in their water bowl so that they can bob for them. So we'll go in our petting yard and give our petting yard goats their enrichment for today.
Let's take a look. So if you're just joining us, we're here at the Eden Animal Experience at the Creation Museum, here for some full fun enrichment activities for the animals. So let's check it out. This is our yard where you can pet the goats.
Okay, let's see if we can get some of our goats interested in their goodies. So in here we have 2 of our Pygmy goats and 1 of our La Mancha goats. So this is Peter and Tumnus, and then over there we have Caspian. Oh, Caspian's gonna pounce on it. Okay, let's see. Let's see if they... I put a pumpkin in here for each of them, so hopefully we don't have any goat disagreements over whose pumpkin is whose. We probably will, though. These guys are a little bit spoiled. They much prefer to have their pumpkins cut in half. They think that having to work at the pumpkin and eat it and get it open themselves is a little too much work. They definitely prefer to have you cut the pumpkin open for them. We also have some apples in here in their water bowl. I thought we would do a little bobbing for apples. Goats don't like water all that much, so we'll see how much they want to bob and work for those apples. So once again, this is kind of a food-based enrichment, but over there, that water, that's an extra element as well for them, so they've got to kind of work and figure out how to get the apples out of there. I know, Caspian, is it rough? Oh, Peter's over here checking out the empty bucket to see if there's anything in the empty bucket. These guys are very popular here at the Eden Animal Experience. Our Pygmy Goats here kids love these guys. They're so nice and short. They're not scary for a lot of the shorter kids that aren't quite as tall. They're not quite as overwhelming for those kids. So we'll see if our goats can figure this out. Goats can be a little bit difficult to enrich sometimes, simply because ours are spoiled rotten, and they think that all their food should be served to them on a plate and
silver platter, maybe?
Silver platter. Yeah, they would probably enjoy that. So doing whole food enrichment like this with them is actually really good for them, because it makes them work and think a little bit about how they're going to get their food out. Now, depending on how hungry they are, sometimes they're very motivated for that food, and other times they're like, do we really want it that badly? Tumnus over here he's pretty interested in these apples, though.
We need to see if he could bob for that apple.
I was really hoping he would, or at least grab it and pull it out, but it seems like he's not.
Good try.
Yeah, it's a good try. So this is the thing with enrichment. Sometimes it works really well, and then other times the animal just kind of is like, I'm not really that interested in it. But as zookeepers, we know that either way, we are enriching them. So we're just giving them options and choices throughout their day. That's the whole point of enrichment. So sometimes they'll choose to interact with an item, and sometimes they won't. Oh, see, Tumnus is going to try to use his little horn there, I think, to get that pumpkin open. And now they say they're going to get some food, so now they're very distracted. Okay, we'll move over to our main goat exhibit. These goats might be a little bit more willing to help us out.
All right, we're going to move over here. So this is our main goat exhibit. Now, whose pants did you take for the Scarecrow?
So, when you're a zookeeper, you tend to go through a lot of pants. You rip them, things like that. They're going to get caught in something. So this is one of our zookeepers, an old pair of pants she had that had gotten a hole in them. So she decided for our goats today to try to do a scarecrow. This was not a very happy looking scarecrow. It's kind of a little bit sad looking. But the legs of the pants are filled with hay. And then we have one of our plastic 5-gallon puzzle feeders there, kind of as the body of the scarecrow. And that's got some pumpkin and some sweet potatoes in it. And then our head is also a pumpkin. So this is what we consider a novel form of enrichment. So novel just means anything really new. So this is something the goats have never seen before. So we're going to let them out. Tim's going to go ahead and let them out, and we're going to see how they interact with this. I have a feeling one goat in particular is going to go crazy with this, but we'll see. They also have banana leaves. We got a surplus of banana leaves this morning, so Oh, and there goes Eustace. So they're getting some nice banana leaves. They love the greens. This is one of their favorite treats. So again, banana leaves are loved by everyone. So under these banana leaves, we actually have some little pie pumpkins hidden as well for them to find. So Eustace up there on the shelf, he is probably our most curious goat. I figured he would be over there at that Scarecrow pretty quickly.
I don't know. It's a pretty good Scarecrow. It might be scaring them off.
Maybe. So yes, we try to use several different forms of enrichment. So of course we have food here, which is a big one. We also use novel enrichment, so adding new things to the animal's environment, just to encourage them to explore, and encourage curiosity in the animals. Sometimes it'll also encourage animals to move around. So here, all of our goats, all of our animals are quite spoiled. So sometimes we have to encourage them to move around and just get some exercise, if you will. So we'll use novel enrichment for that as well.
So what times do you normally do the enrichment? Is it just on a case-by-case basis, or?
So it's usually on kind of a case-by-case basis. We try to also vary the time we offer enrichment. So part of enrichment is you want it to be a surprise. You don't want to make it. You don't want to do enrichment with an animal at the same time every single day, because then it just becomes part of the animal's routine. It's no longer as fun or enriching for them. So what we'll do is we'll vary it throughout the day. So sometimes we'll do enrichment in the morning, sometimes we'll do it in the afternoon. Usually around 2:30 we try to get at least one enrichment item out, so our guests and visitors can kind of see our animals interacting with enrichment. And we also like to kind of be around an exhibit in the afternoon when we place enrichment, so we can answer guest questions like, what is that? Why does that animal have that toy or that object? And we'll kind of explain what behaviors we're trying to encourage with that enrichment, and then kind of explain what is enrichment overall. So all of the enrichment we use here at the Eden Animal Experience is designed to encourage some specific behavior with an animal. So for instance, today this is kind of a foraging behavior. So they're having to forage and explore and find their food. So you'll notice they're kind of picking out the bits and pieces that they like. So that's the nice part about having these banana leaves like this, is they're able to kind of pick out the leaves that they want, and then they'll leave the leaves that maybe that aren't quite as tasty. So there's some dried leaves in there. They'll probably leave those for last. They'll probably eat the green stuff first, and then move on from there.
Scarecrow.
Oh, Flop It. That is Flop It there. She's one of our Nigerian dwarf goats. She's also a very curious little goat. So I'm sure she's going to go crazy with us. So another part of enrichment is we want to observe the animals interact with enrichment, especially new enrichment. We want to see if they are carrying out the behavior we intended for them to carry out, or if we need to kind of refine and work on the enrichment item to make it a little bit more user-friendly, if you will, for the animals. So with a new enrichment item, oh, there goes Eustace. That's who I thought was going to be over there first. So, okay, you see what he is doing right now. Hopefully he doesn't get his foot stuck there. He is basically going up on his hind legs and is foraging for what's in that bucket. He knows that there's some nice treats in that container. So he's going to work and try to get the food out of that container. So in the wild, and even domesticated herds of goats, they are what we consider browsers. So they don't necessarily want to graze on grass. They much prefer trees and bushes type material to eat. So by jumping up and kind of being able to balance on his back legs, that's how goats in the wild would be able to acquire maybe some tasty leaves off of trees. So that's a behavior we try to encourage with our goats, is that browsing behavior.
Well, I tell you what, that was a tense moment. I thought they were actually going to be able to get something out of that Scarecrow.
I know. I'm honestly surprised they didn't start rubbing their heads on those pans, because Flop It there likes to rub her head on pretty much everything. She likes to try to headbutt a lot of things. Another characteristic and behavior we see a lot in goats.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yes. Okay, if you guys want, we're going to go over and see if Tim has got some enrichment out for Gomer the camel now.
Oh, there's more.
Yes, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
Camel.
Gomer the camel. The one and only.
I may have picked up a little friend on the way, so.
We shall see. So Gomer today is getting, he's getting a water trough that's got some fun veggies in for him to bob. So we'll see. Tim here, he's been putting enrichment out for me and working hard today. So we'll see if he's got this ready for us. If not, we'll go over and see if Boomer the Wallaby will come out and play with his enrichment for us. So we'll see if Gomer decides to get up. Gomer, he did rides yesterday, so usually the day after he does rides, he's a little bit lazy. He kind of likes to just lay down. He's enjoying the sun today. So,
it is nice, the sun.
Mm-hmm. It's very nice today.
After such a cold day.
It was quite chilly this morning, so typically in the afternoons on these nice days when it gets nice and warm and sunny, our animals will be out laying in the sun, kind of lounging around, just enjoying the sun. So our animals will be out. They may not be as active, though, because they're enjoying that sun. Okay, we'll see if Gomer, he's checking it out. We'll see if he'll get up for us. Camels are very, very curious animals. That's one of the coolest features about them is they're just very, very curious. So I think Gomer's trying to decide if he actually wants to move or not.
If I was in Gomer's place, that's where I'd be.
Yep. We always say Gomer, like, he'll lay about that. That's like his spot. So guests can like admire him, but he doesn't actually want to interact with them. He's like, I'm just going to stay here and everybody can just admire me from afar. Except when it's camel encounter time, then he'll be up here at the fence waiting for his treats. So as long as you bring him treats, he's happy. He's thinking about it. Maybe. This is also a great thing about working with animals. You never know what they're going to do. And sometimes when you say, oh, camel's going to do this, they'll do the exact opposite. Okay. Well, if Gomer's not going to move for us, we'll work our way over to the alpacas. Watch him tip that water trough over. It would not surprise me in the least. Okay, we'll go over to the alpacas. He's very satisfied right now. So we'll go over to the alpacas. So they got two forms of enrichment today. So once again, they got some nice banana leaves, which is one of their favorites. And then if we go down this way a little bit more, they actually have some chalk artwork on the outside of their barn. So we try to use sensory enrichment with some of our animals. So this can be anything from visual to auditory to olfactory. So things that smell really good. It just encourages them to explore their environment. So one of my zookeepers, she's really good with chalk art. I am terrible at it. I can draw like stars and shapes, and that's pretty much it. But our alpacas got this lovely fall tree today, which they are not appreciating. They're all about the banana leaves. But this is just something else we do. So we'll use this type of enrichment to just encourage them to maybe explore their exhibit a little bit more, be a little bit more curious. Our camels, the first time we did chalk drawings in our camel barn, our one camel refused to come in the barn. He thought it was quite scary. But now he's kind of gotten used to it, and he'll actually go up and nose them and rub his nose on them and see what they're kind of all about. Okay, so we also have our cows. So Karina's going to let out our steers, George and Ferdinand, and our donkey, Ella. So our steers love pumpkin spice. We actually will buy up some pumpkin spice perfume this fall once it goes on sale for these guys because they love it. That is their favorite scent. So that Jolly Ball that hanging off the end of those pumpkins there, that is has some pumpkin spice on it. And then we have some pumpkins hanging as well. And then they also have a leaf pile, and there's also some pumpkins in that leaf pile as well. So once again, we're just trying to get them to explore their enclosure and use some sensory enrichment in the form of scents, so we can encourage them to kind of explore. George here, he's the gray one. He loves pumpkin spice. So if we put a Jolly Ball with a little bit of pumpkin spice on it, he'll stand there and lick it for hours if we let him. They're all excited to see a little bit of greenery. Their turnout pasture is kind of dying back for the year, so they don't have a whole lot of grass when they go out to pasture. So they're enjoying all of this greenery today. Not quite fall related, but everybody's enjoying it, so that's the important thing.
Yes. Do you have banana trees near here? Is that where you get the leaves from? Or?
Yes. So our grounds department, when they trim things, they'll bring us the things that animals can have. So we'll get bamboo from our gardens. We also get banana leaves from our gardens as well. Here in the next couple of weeks, once we get a good heavy frost, they'll actually cut all the banana trees down. So they're very fun to use enrichment with. So we can basically put up banana trees in exhibits, and then the animals have a great time pulling them down and interacting with them. So
good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any bananas? We live in Georgia, and I have a banana tree, and I have quite a few that are about that long, but it takes 2 years for bananas to mature. It's just we have the freeze that kills them back.
Yeah, it takes a while.
But they come back every year.
That's good.
Beautiful purple flowers.
Yes, they are. What do you think, Ella? Is that good? Our steers are very good at eating pumpkins too. We'll put pumpkins in for them, and they'll clean up pretty much all of them. For some reason, though, they don't like the bottoms of the pumpkins. They always leave the bottoms behind. I guess that's just not a tasty part for them to eat.
I saw it moving, but it was... Oh.
Okay. Okay, we'll finish up over here at the Wallaby Exhibit. I'll go in here and see if I can get Boomer to come out for us. Skippy is feeling a little bit under the weather today, so we're not going to ask him to come out, but I'll bring Boomer out. So today, he's got a pumpkin covered with peanut butter. So we use peanut butter a lot with our wallabies as a training reward, but it's also a great form of enrichment as well. So I'm going to go and see if I can find out where Boomer is hiding.
So for those who are watching, we are at the Eden Animal Experience at the Creation Museum. We're here with the wallabies, with our full fun enrichment. We are seeing if we can get Boomer out to come be interested in his pumpkin covered in peanut butter. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. I'm monitoring the comments today, so we'll answer them. Interested in the banana leaves.
Yes, the banana leaves are stealing the show today. So Boomer was actually just inside down in our chapel area for an encounter at 2 o'clock. So he's kind of like, I don't really want to participate right now. Usually after an encounter, he likes to kind of he'll go and lay out for a little while, and then he'll come back out. So we'll see how he's not interested today. He's up to 14 and a half pounds. I just weighed him yesterday, so he's growing like a little weed. He's just over a year old now. And he's on his last little bit of formula. So once he's done with his can of formula, he's going to be weaned off his bottle. And he still has his pouch overnight. He'll keep his pouch until he outgrows it, which he's getting close to doing. But once he can't fit it in it anymore, then he's going to have to be a big wallaby and spend all of his time outside the pouch and find another bed to lay on.
Just have to get used to being outside of the pouch, huh?
Yes. The pouch is basically his comfort. So think of a kid with a blankie or a stuffed animal. That's kind of what the pouch is for him. So we're letting him have it during overnight until he outgrows it. But once he can't get in and out of it comfortably anymore, we'll take it from him because we don't want him to hurt himself. And having half a wallaby in the pouch and half a wallaby out of the pouch doesn't really work very well. So, but he did not want to participate today. He said, "Nope, I'm good."
Well, thank you so much for all the fun activities for the animals.
Yes.
Kind of gives everyone a good overview of what we have and what you can enjoy. So encourage you to learn more at creationmuseum.org. On the website, we have information about the zoo and everything on there. And thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, Leanne.
Oh, you're welcome.